I would love to say a very warm welcome to you from the village of Pathhead, Midlothian, half an hour southeast of Edinburgh. But the fact is, it's freezing. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to keep my hat on. The other is that I haven't had a haircut for a year. And it's not a good look. A welcome nonetheless to you, and I hope you are warm in your homes for this Burns night. I would like to begin with a song of welcome, inspired by Robert Burns himself. It's a song called Come Away In, which I wrote for a project called Scotland Sings, the remit of which was to produce songs for community choirs, inspired by the work, life or legacy of Robert Burns. So I took as my starting point a wee tiny poem of his in Scots called The Wren's Nest, and the poem goes like this. The robin come to the wren's nest, and keek it in, and keek it in. O wheels me on your auld pow, would ye be in, would ye be in? Ye's ne'er get leave to lie without, and I within, and I within, so lang as I hae an auld cloot to row ye in, to row ye in. And I love this idea of the robin coming to the wren's door and asking if he has space, and the wren saying, I would never leave you lying outside for as long as I've got an old cloth to wrap you up in. And that idea of offering space, hospitality, welcome, asylum, refuge feels really important at this point in history. And it seems to me that Scotland is a place that can offer that kind of space to others, particularly those fleeing injustice, persecution or climate crisis in other parts of the world. So this is Come Away In, inspired by Robert Burns' Rens Nest. Welcome into the house where we have bread to eat and room at the table. Welcome into the house where we sit down to meet with stranger and neighbour. Welcome into the house. Come away in. Come away in. The storm it is rising, but we'll hold back the wind. Come away in. Welcome into the house where there's an open door and the fire is burning. Welcome into the house where we can rest a while from the world and its turning. Welcome into the house. Come away in. Come away in. The storm it is rising, but we'll hold back the wind. Come away in, all you sisters and mothers. Come away in, all you fathers and brothers. Come away in, all the widows lamenting. Come away in, all the exiles dissenting. Come away in, all the lost and forgotten. Come away in, all the battered and broken. Come away in, all the motherless children. Come away in, we welcome you all into the house. Come away in. Come away in. The storm it is rising, but we'll hold back the wind. Come away in. So that's Come Away In after Robert Burns' The Wren's Nest. Around 20 years ago or so, I was teaching a community evening class in the west of Edinburgh, in the Gorgie Dalry area, for what was then the Adult Learning Project and is now the Scots Music Group. And one of my students at the time was a guy called Robbie Nichol, who is now a professor of outdoor education at Heriot-Watt. But at the time he worked for Scottish Natural Heritage. And he asked me to come one evening to Kingussie, where he was hosting a convention of Swedish ecologists. And specifically as part of my set at the Kingussie Hotel, he asked me to sing Robert Burns's Now Westland Winds, which is in fact one of my favourite songs of all time, largely because it appears on this album, Dick Gaughan's Handful of Earth, which is one of my top 5 albums of all time. Dick Gaughan from Leith, of course, and he sings Now Westland Winds on Handful of Earth. In fact, he does the most perfect version that anyone will ever sing of that song. But before I performed the song for these Swedish ecologists, Robbie stood up and gave the most amazing appreciation of the song, and it totally transformed how I hear it. He talked about it as the earliest example in Scottish literary tradition of deep ecological thinking. And he pointed out how Burns was intimately aware of the bird species that are mentioned in the first 2 verses, where they nest, the landscapes that they inhabit, how they coexist with one another and with us as humans. And he also kind of paints a really intimate portrait of the landscape as a place that is farmed, as a place where people walk out and love one another and court one another, so a place to be appreciated for its beauty, but also as a place in which hunting happens. And the core of the song in the middle, there's this phrase, tyrannic man's dominion, in the 3rd verse, which absolutely, it's just a devastating phrase, because it sums up our power as humans in terms of the influence that we can have on the landscape that we live in and all the creatures that cohabit it with us. But also the power we have to make good choices. And the power that we have to make good choices is the reason why I support the Scottish Green Party. So, here's Now Westland Winds for you, and a song of deep ecology, which Robert Burns wrote at the age of just 19. So he was, in his day, not just a great poet and thinker, but a great young poet and thinker of tremendous wisdom. So enjoy your evening, and well wishes to all of you involved in campaigning for the Scottish Green Party. I wish the party very well this year. Now Westland winds and slaughtering guns bring autumn's pleasant weather. The moorcock springs on whirring wings among the blooming heather. Now waving grain wide o'er the plain delights the weary farmer. The moon shines bright as I rove at night to muse upon my charmer. The partridge loves the fruitful fell, the plover loves the mountain, the woodcock haunts the lonely dell, the soaring hern the fountain. Through lofty groves the cushat roves, the path of man to shun it. The hazel bush o'erhangs the thrush, the spreading thorn the linnet. Thus every kind their pleasure find, the savage and the tender. Some social join, some leagues combine, some solitary wander. Avaunt away the cruel sway, tyrannic man's dominion, the sportsman's joy and the murdering cry, the fluttering gory pinion. But Peggy dear, the evening's clear, thick fly the skimming swallow. The sky is blue, the field in view, all fading green and yellow. Come, let us stray your gladsome way and view the charms of nature, the rustling corn and the fruited thorn, and every happy creature. We'll gently walk and sweetly talk till the silent moon shines clearly, and I'll grasp thine waist and fondly pressed swear how I love thee dearly. Not vernal showers to budding flowers, not autumn to the farmer, say dear can be as thou to me, my fair, my lovely charmer. Enjoy the rest of your evening.